Hi, my name is Maria and I'm the founder of Waste Free Tahoe, a consulting firm helping businesses eliminate waste to landfill, save money using our custom solutions and expertise. After working as a consultant for a few years, I became a sustainability manager for a large corporation, and I quickly realized that most business leaders don't really know what they're doing when it comes to waste reduction and waste management. The amount of money wasted, no pun intended, on waste disposal and fees is enormous and it escalates quickly. A business can spend anywhere between thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on waste disposal and fees, and they could be saving between 30 to 50% of that every year, sometimes even more. To me, waste is an inefficiency, and that's why I work really hard with my clients to help them find custom solutions and implement them at their organizations so that they can eliminate waste to landfill and save money while doing so. I believe education is always the answer, no matter what the question is. That's why through videos and other type of content, I will share with you my expertise and what I've learned to help you make better decisions for your business or your organization when it comes to reducing waste and being more sustainable and of course saving money too. When it comes to waste, businesses make lots of mistakes. In this video, I will break down the top 5 biggest mistakes that I think businesses make when it comes to waste reduction. The first problem is that businesses don't measure their waste. You can't track what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure. Without a clear baseline, without clear information, without knowing what's really going on inside your trash cans, you can't really know what you're doing or where you're going. You need to know where you're starting so you can know where you're going. That way, you can set a goal that fits your organization and fits your budget as well so that it is feasible and attainable. Having a robust tracking method is crucial to any program, but especially a waste reduction program. Oh, look at these. Oh, it's wasps. When a company has never conducted an audit, doesn't know where they're starting, they don't have a tracking system, they are setting themselves up for failure. Why? Because they're investing in actions that might not be rendering the best ROI, that might not even be having the largest impact when it comes down to waste reduction. You started by trying to cut costs and save money and eliminate waste, and now you're wasting more money and you're still not reducing waste as you should. Why? Because you don't know where you should be targeting your efforts. You can only know where you should be targeting your efforts if you're tracking your waste and if you know what your baseline is and what's going on inside your trash cans first. The second biggest mistake companies make when trying to reduce waste is only focusing on recycling. Recycling isn't the solution. Yes, it is a part of the solution, but it's not all of it. You have no idea how many times I've spoken to business leaders who just tell me that, oh, yeah, we recycle. And that's their answer to what's your waste management program? Oh, yeah, we recycle. That is not a solution. That is not a waste management solution, especially because you don't even know if you're recycling everything at the end. First of all, you can't recycling everything. Most materials, most items are not recyclable, and they need to go through a process before they can even be recycled. Some of them, like water bottles or aluminum cans, those are easy. Those you can recycle. But that's just a very small part of a larger waste management program. That cannot be all of it. Second, out of all those things that could potentially be recycled, they will only be recycled if they make it all the way from your recycling bin onto the recycling plant. And there's so many steps in the middle and so many things that could go wrong before that happens that the probability of that being recycled is pretty low. There are just too many things that can go wrong in the middle and will probably go wrong. That's why recycling, as we know, is not the solution. Only 9% of plastics get recycled worldwide, so we know that that's not the solution. Instead, companies should focus on having a robust waste action plan where recycling is just one part of that plan and not the entirety of it. The third biggest mistake that companies make when it comes to waste reduction is not getting your staff involved. Employee engagement will make or break your sustainability program, and this is even more true for waste reduction programs. That's because waste reduction has a large behavior change component, and it's a thing that your staff can do and feel empowered and feel like they're doing something and getting things done. If you have a goal, if you have a sustainability goal or a waste reduction goal, and your staff doesn't know about it, then your program will fail. If you have a goal and your staff is not clear about it, your program will fail. If you're telling everywhere outside your company that you have a sustainability goal, a waste goal, and how great you're doing, but your staff internally doesn't know that or is not aware, your program will fail. Why? Because you need to walk the talk. Employees want to work in places where they feel that they're being listened to, that they're being heard, that they are having an impact, a larger impact than just themselves. So you need to bring them in and make them part of your goal, make them part of your programs, because without them, your programs will not succeed. It doesn't matter how much you're telling about your goals outside of your company, how much you're reporting on it. If your staff internally is not aware of it, they're not going to support you in achieving your goal. So you need to make sure that your staff not only knows about the goal, knows why you're doing it, knows why you care about it, and knows what their role is in achieving that goal. An employee who feels left out is not an employee that will make your program successful. The fourth mistake businesses make when trying to reduce waste is focusing on looks instead of effectiveness. I can't tell you how tired I am of seeing these trash cans with these gorgeous, beautiful signs, but they're like made in doodles or drawings. And the person that's standing in front of that trash can doesn't usually have the item that's portrayed in that drawing or that doodle. You need real signage that has all the explanations and pictures of what you need. Also, this might sound silly, but a drawing and a picture do not look the same. They're not the same thing. So they don't have the same effect in a person's brain. What a person needs to see when they're looking at a sign is exactly that same item that they're holding in their hand, portrayed in that picture, so they know exactly what to do. And there's no doubt, there's no putting anything on the consumer on figuring it out. You're just telling them exactly what they need to do it and how. But for that, you need to focus on effectiveness instead of looks. And I make some really beautiful signs based on behavior change that help clients achieve proper waste sorting from their staff without getting them confused. And they don't have to sacrifice looks when I do that. We just get the best of both worlds. It's beautiful, but it's also very explanatory, and it'll tell your staff or your guests exactly what they need to do with that piece of trash or with that recycling or whatever that is. The same happens with waste sorting stations and with anything food waste related. Businesses are more focused on looking good, on the looks of it, than on the effectiveness of it. And again, you don't have to sacrifice looks. You can do both, but you cannot just only focus on looks because you won't achieve proper waste reduction that way. The fifth and final mistake that businesses make when it comes to waste reduction is not considering the financial impacts of waste in their businesses. Waste is a financial drain and it doesn't make any sense. We pay to purchase items and then we pay to dispose of those items. There are several ways in which waste will impact the financials of your business. The first one is that every month you are paying a fee to get your waste disposed of, to get it taken out of your business and into a recovery facility or a dump or whatever that is. You're paying money every month. That's money that's leaving your company every month just so that you can get your trash taken away. Second, Out of the most common streams, that is landfill waste or municipal solid waste, recycling, and compost, landfill waste tends to always be the most expensive stream. And that's because disposing of waste in landfills is expensive and it's a big business for some people. So just by sorting waste correctly and putting more waste into your recycling bin instead of into your landfill bin will already save you some more money because there's an impact there. Now, this brings me to the third point, is that waste haulers will fine you if you have misplaced items. Let's say if you have trash in your recycling bin. So there's money going out of your business that way as well. So it's not that you can just start putting all your trash into your recycling bin, because you will get fined and there will be consequences to that as well, financial consequences. And lastly, and there's many other ways in which waste impacts finances, but I'm just looking at a few here. The last one is the purchasing costs, especially of single-use items. I had a client who was spending $20,000 a month on paper towels just because they didn't want to face the backlash that could potentially come from switching from paper towels to hand dryers in the restrooms. So I prevented the backlash with using behavior change and the right communication tools, and my clients saved $20,000 a month. That's $240,000 a year just by not purchasing paper towels anymore. So, how can your business stop making these major mistakes and start reducing waste effectively? I've developed a very simple 3-step process over the years, and it comes down to auditing, analyzing, and acting. And of course, there's a lot of steps within, but it's pretty basic. First of all, of course, you want to audit your waste. You want to know what kind of waste you are producing, what items, how much you're paying for it, how much you're diverting, how much total tonnage you're sending to a landfill, how much total tonnage you're recycling. You want to know what are the materials inside your trash cans that are being thrown out every month. What are the items that are being sorted out incorrectly, meaning that staff really thinks it's recyclable but it's not, or vice versa? What are those things where you should be focusing on? So the first thing is audit. Let's figure out what the baseline is. Let's figure out where we're standing. Let's understand your the entirety of your operation from a waste point of view. Second, you're going to analyze all that information. Once you do have that, okay, where do we need to focus? Why would have the biggest impact for the lowest amount of money? Or simply, what would have the biggest impact right now? What are we trying to achieve? Why are we trying to achieve it? Is there a major goal coming down from a larger corporation down to us that we need to comply with, that we need to follow? Can we just set out our own goal based on the things that we know about our operations? How can we use this data into having informed solutions and creating a waste action plan that will take us somewhere? And the last step then will be to act, do something with it. All right, let's put together that waste action plan. Let's set dates, let's set budgets. Let's make sure that we can keep track of those, that we can improve upon the efforts that we are working on and add on top of those. Where do we need to focus right now for waste reduction right now? And where will that get us in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Where do we even want to be? So act, do something with that information, and then you start over that process again. You audit again, you figure out where you're standing now, you analyze it again, and you act again, and you keep going. And that's how you have a robust waste management system that encourages you to eliminate waste to landfill, save money, and protect the environment. Clients who have followed this approach, and this is in many different industries from hospitality to manufacturing to healthcare, they have all seen positive impacts from applying actions such as these that I mentioned in this video. They see financial savings between 30 to 50% on average, and some clients have even seen savings way higher than that. If you're watching this video and you're overwhelmed and you still don't know where to start, you still think it's too complicated, that you're not educated enough to put a waste reduction program together, or that you're missing some pieces, start basic. Start with something easy. Start just looking at your invoices. Start looking at inside your trash cans, inside your recycling bins. Start talking to people. Start easy, and solutions will come from that. Just remember, audit, analyze, and act. As small as that is, or as big as that is, it will have an impact. And if you need help, you can always reach out and I will help you and your business figure out how to do it yourselves. What I do is provide you with the tools and the education so that you can do it, and I will hold your hand the entirety of the way as much as you want. If you want to learn more, if you want to watch this full video, you can go to our YouTube channel at Waste Free Maria. If you enjoy this content, please follow me on Instagram at Waste Free Maria. You can see the link down here. You can also sign up to our newsletter, our YouTube channel, and our podcast. And if you want to learn more about my business, you can go to www.wastefreetahoe.com and look at all the options that we have for different types of organizations.